Let's go. Come on. Tonight, it's Live with Vince Eliot. Live with Vince Eliot. Tonight on Live with Vince Eliot, it's natural health doctor Rhonda J. Smith, Certified Holistic, and keeping the show on track, co-host Erica Mack. Who's the Mac? Let's get it.
That's right. Oh, it is Friday. It is 8 o'clock. I am Vince Eliot.
And she is Erica Mack. Welcome.
She had to think about. She had to think about who she was. Welcome to Live with Vince Eliot. I am very happy to be here once again. You know, as you know, Fridays go about every 3 days. It seems like on this show, and I'm glad to be back. So we got a great show, no question about it. This show is. For me, this show is going to be a little challenging. Although I'm excited for the information, it is talking about the way we eat and the things that we put on our body and just how we can improve or maintain or obtain a healthy lifestyle with what we put in and on our bodies through naturally. So because I know that when Rhonda comes on, she's going to make me feel bad about the way I'm eating, I'm going to go ahead and get mine out the way. What? You know,
terrible.
Before,
oh my goodness.
Before Rhonda get on here.
You do not do that.
Bad about. I'm sorry, Rhonda.
Exactly. She don't make you feel bad. You just did it to yourself. Self-condemnation.
I'm sorry. She's going to talk about me so bad. But anyway, we got a great show coming up. Erica, what do people need to know when they coming on here watching Live with Vince Eliot?
We always want to remind all viewers to please go ahead and subscribe to The Vince Eliot on YouTube, subscribe to The Vince Eliot on YouTube, and also to make sure you go ahead and smash that subscribe button, subscribe and notification button actually, so that you will always be notified when we're on. That's
right. And we got a big announcement too. You want to tell people what the announcement? It is pretty big announcement.
Pretty big.
Well, let me say this. So today is Friday the 11th. First of all, it's 9/11. Never forget, right?
Correct. I actually forgot today.
Yeah, you forgot. Like, never forget,
it's
right?
9/11. Yeah.
Yeah, and then also, so this is the 11th. We'll be back on the 18th, And then the 25th. And what happens after that, Erica?
25th, and then we move to Tuesday, starting on the 29th. We are moving to Tuesday night.
Okay, wait a minute. Stop the music.
Tuesday
Stop
night.
the music. Did y'all hear that? We are moving to Tuesday nights starting September 29th. So we will be on every Friday leading up to that September 29th. And then after that, Tuesday's 8 o'clock. All right,
Tuesday
kick it.
It is.
So, yeah, I think that's going to work out better all the way around for everybody. Particularly after we get back to the flow of, being able to come outside and go places and, businesses are opening back up and all that type of thing. People like to hang out on Fridays. So, I want them to be able to catch Live with Vince Eliot. And Tuesday, analytically by the data, is actually a better day for online. More people watch on Tuesdays than any other day of the week, from what I understand.
Most podcasts run on Tuesdays, and podcasts in just general and things in general that through social media. They do a lot of things on Tuesday. So Tuesday it is.
Listen, if you're joining us for the first time, thank you. Welcome. This is Live with Vince Eliot, and we have a variety of topics that we talk about. But one thing that we don't talk about, see, this is not really a political show. So when we talk about things, we want to talk about something other than what everybody else is talking about. You got 3 things that's being talked about more than anything else other than the weather. You're going to always find somebody on the news. You can't turn on the news without them talking about Trump, without them talking about civil unrest, and without them talking about COVID-19. So we want to talk about something other than that, and we like to call this segment In Other News.
And now for news you may or may not be able to use. News other than Trump, COVID, or civil unrest. It's In Other News. Live from one of our remote studios, it's news anchor Erica Mack.
Well, hello everyone. In other news, everyone deserves a second chance in life, and this particular person received just that. An employee of the Kroger grocery store was hired after sleeping in their parking lot for over a year. She was homeless and she slept in their parking lot for a year. And then she was granted an opportunity to have an interview. And with that interview, it gave her a job. And from her job, she is now in an apartment of her own and doing great things. So that was pretty nice of them to finally grant her that interview.
Well, normally these stories that you bring are so far-fetched, and this is different. This is definitely somewhat of an extreme, but all the way on the positive side. I really don't have anything negative to poke fun at this one, but hats off to the person who reached out to her to give her that job. A lot of times, what I found in my personal experience, when I see someone who's, homeless out on the streets and, they're asking for help, my thing is, how can I truly help them? And so, I've had situations where I told a guy, he was in front of the post office one time, and he was like, look, I'm just trying to catch the bus, whatever. And I was like, well, listen, there are services available to give you help beyond that. Are you interested in that? He's like, oh, yeah. So I was telling him about it because I have a friend who actually worked with COTS. Yeah. And so I was like, listen, I can get you in where you have a shelter, place to stay, eat, the whole 9. Come to find out he wasn't interested in any of that. And so,
and that's always the question, so happened that this particular lady, yes, she had hard times. She did some drugs, just things like that. And her life was just, a runaway train. And so after sleeping in her car for about a year, the actual manager, the hiring manager, knew that she was sleeping in the parking lot and things like that. Mm-hmm. And so, and she would see her and tell her, hey, one day I'm gonna be working in this store. And that was the lady's she would always tell her that one day I'm gonna be working for you. And eventually the hire manager, they had positions open, and she came out and asked her, hey, would you be interested in having an interview? And so they granted her the interview. She took the interview, and she gave her the job, and she's been working ever since and moving up in Kroger's.
Wow. Now that, you know, that's one of those stories, you know, like you would see in the movie with Will Smith when he was on his last dime. I forgot the name of the movie. His son was in it with him. And he got the job as a computer guy. He asked the guy.
Yeah.
They had that scene where he had his last $5 on him, and the guy was like, "Oh, I left my wallet. Let me get $5 or I can get some coffee or whatever." Yeah. Oh man, that was a great movie. Matter of fact, I might watch that again.
No, that's the other movie.
Yeah. He came in with paint on him, and oh man, that was a great movie. Anyway, you know, I mean, hey, I shop at Kroger, so you know, plug to them for doing that. We need to hear more stories like that.
We kind of have another one today, and our next story is again another woman. This particular woman had been arrested 16 times from the time of 2007 to 2012. An Alabama lady turned her life around after drug addiction and things like that. And the cop that arrested her, she saw a posting on social media saying that a kidney was needed. And so happened she went down to the registry and she was a match for this particular cop who had arrested her over 16 times for her abuse of drugs, and she donated her kidney to him.
Oh my goodness. You see, you know, in a time like this where there's so much evil going on, so much hatred being, you know, shown online and in the streets and all that, for somebody to do something like that is really a testament to the fact that there are still some people with a good heart out here. So
not only a good heart, but just
and a good
who
kidney.
Believe it. Who ate right to have a good kidney.
Right.
Just possibly we think like that, but some people just have good genes. But the fact that there are still second chances, you know, you may have messed up, but there's always a time to get it right, you know. So that's what I appreciate more about the story, is that you had a chance to correct yourself.
Well, listen, you know, those two stories were about people helping other people, and that's really in this time where we're dealing with all we're dealing with. We really need people coming together to help their fellow man or fellow woman in these times of needs. And unfortunately, you know, I got transitioned into another story that's close to home, near and dear, that affects, you know, not only our community, but actually affects our co-host, Erica. Yeah, so in other news, you know, this particular story you may or may not have heard about. There was a major car accident. Erica, I'm going to let you share a little bit about that, and then we'll show a little something about it.
Well, yeah, so unfortunately for me, my family suffered tragedy this week in the loss of my cousin. And so they were on Labor Day, they were driving home, and just actually around the corner from home, for like 2 minutes they would have been home, and speeding driver came and basically clipped their car, T-boned it, and in the car was four of my cousins. So my oldest cousin and her two children and her niece. And so the niece passed away. So she was my youngest cousin, so she passed away. And my older cousin and her two sons were severely injured. So my one cousin, she was in a coma, but she is now out of the coma, but she is still in the hospital. Her oldest son as well is still in the hospital, and her youngest son is now home. But everyone is in the recovery process and the grieving process all at the same time. So it has been a roller coaster of a ride this week for me personally and my family as a whole. So yes, thanks for allowing me that.
Yeah, I just found out just when you said it that she come out of the coma. So that's, you know, out of everything that's going on, that's the best news, you know, we could have gotten, I guess. So there's some information that we want to share with you guys. So we got a little video clip here we want you to check out.
All right. Hi everyone, I am known as LaTanya Garrett, also State Representative LaTanya Garrett, serving in House District 7, and I have my sister and colleague here with me.
Hi, I'm State Representative Karen Whitsett, District 9, Detroit and part of Dearborn.
So today we are coming together because we have another family devastated by those who drive extremely too fast, especially within the city of Detroit. And
so we've lost another little baby because somebody senselessly and recklessly drove their vehicle into a family car. And a little 6-year-old Nyla, which is nothing but a baby, is now gone. And her family is in the hospital. Her rest of her family is devastated. They're struggling, and we're asking for your help and your support.
We are Liz. They are the owner. Her name is Elizabeth, but better known as Liz. They are the owner of Baby Bags Open Pit Restaurant on 7 Mile. Her husband is Eddie, but Liz is in an induced coma at the local hospital, struggling for her life. And her son had emergency surgery today on his jaw. One kid was released with bumps and bruises, but our 6-year-old is gone. And so me and Representative Whitsett have decided to come together to create a GoFundMe for this family. They are a small business. They are a pillar in our community. And this is the time where we have to unite and stand together for the betterment so that these families can continue to thrive even in this hardship, because we don't know when they will open their doors again, but we know that they can come about a faster recovery if we stand as a community and support one another.
Not to mention that baby Nyla has to be also buried. That is something that no family should have to deal with. It's heartbreaking, but it is the reality that we have to deal with in this situation. And so we're asking for any help. I mean, I don't care what amount, it's not too small. I don't care if it's $1, it's not too small. We really need your help for this family, and we're asking for our community to come together in this extremely difficult time. We know this is so hard for everybody, but please, if you could come together for this family, we would greatly appreciate it, and I know they will too.
So we're standing together, and with you all, we know that we can make this happen. Let's get baby Nyla buried, and let's get some support for Liz. And everybody may know Liz. She is the daughter of the well-renowned hairstylist Little Willie. So we are asking for your support. I am going to connect a GoFundMe link at the to our page, to my page,
and my page as well.
And we will go from there with much love. I'm asking you all to slow down. 3 families was devastated by a speeding driver. You see a red light. People, stop. Stop. You are devastating us. You are killing our babies. Stand with us as we stand with this family and get them through this bereavement process. We love you.
Thank you. Bye.
So that's a tough one.
Yeah,
I just want
absolutely.
to take a moment to say we definitely are praying for Erica and her family. And typically, you know, what we do on the show is we let people know that we need your support to keep the show going. And so I'm going to defer that and say, please give whatever you can to the GoFundMe account for Nyla. It's NALA and it's KALI, I believe, if I had that correct.
Yeah.
If somebody could put the GoFundMe link in the comments, that would be helpful. And so I'm just asking you guys, you know, just like they said, no amount is too small. I looked at the GoFundMe earlier, and, you know, people put 5, 10, 20, 100. I mean, all of those amounts were adding up, you know, and so no matter how much you put in there, that's going to help, you know. having to deal with the loss is one thing, and then having to deal with all of the setup and financial issues that come along with that, just makes it even more difficult. And not only did they lose the child, but then they're dealing with, trying to recover themselves and all the bills and everything that come along with that. So whatever you can do, guys, would be helpful.
It will all be appreciated and used appropriately.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you know Erica, from what you've seen of Erica, she's just really straight lace and everything like that. But something like this, she really needs our love and support on that. That being said, we're going to get ready to introduce our guests, but we do have a word of caution in the form of a disclaimer.
Information on this program is for educational purposes and not intended to diagnose, prevent, treat, or cure any disease, ailment, or other condition. Rhonda J. Smith is not a certified medical professional of any kind and is not qualified to give you medical advice. Her goal, and the goal of Live with Vince Eliot, is to inform and inspire you to take responsibility for your health and make educated choices of your own. Please consult your healthcare practitioners before embarking on any health program.
It's that time. It's that time to introduce my guest. I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like, I'm about to get in trouble because I know she was backstage watching when I was getting those last few bites of that food.
She saw that. I hope she saw it.
If she didn't, I just told on myself. But let me give her a proper introduction. Are y'all ready for me to bring on my guest? Ladies and gentlemen, Rhonda J. Smith is a wife, mother, minister, teacher, writer, speaker, friend, and a good one, natural health practitioner who is dedicated to marriage, motherhood, and ministry. Her great desire is to see people prosper in their bodies and spirits. To that end, in 2012, she founded Soul Delights LLC, a company that provides practical and principled products, services, and programs to nourish the body and soul. She is a graduate of Trinity School of Natural Health, where she earned the designation of Certified Holistic Health Practitioner or Natural Health Doctor, and she is a certified culinary community educator through Whole Cities Foundation, which is the nonprofit entity for Whole Foods. Wow, that's saying a lot. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to Live with Vince Eliot, Mrs. Rhonda J. Smith. Come on, give it up for her. Oh, that you hear him? You hear him? Yeah, come on. Let that beat just kick in. Oh, I'm sorry, I got carried away. Welcome to Live with Vince Eliot, Rhonda, a good friend of mine. Good to see you. Oh, you got to turn your, she's muted.
Muted yourself.
Yeah, let's get her unmuted. Let me see. There we go.
All right, there we are. Hey, thanks for having me.
Well, Rhonda, this is a bittersweet moment for me because I know you've got great information for me and everything, but I feel like you're about to tell me what I can't have and what I'm doing terrible to my body. And I just want to be able to do what I want to do, but I want the different results. And I know that's insanity.
It is insanity. It is. What were you eating, by the way? Because I didn't see you.
We don't need to talk about that. We need to get into the topic. We need to talk about what we came to talk about. And let's not focus on me. It's not about me. It's about the topic. That's what we need to talk about. First of all, let me allow you to introduce yourself and welcome yourself to everybody, to my audience, and say whatever it is that's on your mind.
Okay. Well, thank you. You did a great job introducing me. Can you hear me okay? I hear you said, uh-oh. Can you hear me okay?
There was a little delay there, that's all.
Okay.
Yep, go ahead.
All right. So I think Vincent did a great job introducing me. I think what I would add is that I would tell people that I am not a natural doctor who just simply prescribes herbs. A lot of people look to natural doctors. They don't want the pharmaceuticals, but then they want a natural doctor to just give them some type of supplements to kind of help them along. Everybody's looking for a natural, a magic pill. There is no magic pill. You must do the work. but the things that I talk about are very simple, even though they take discipline. So,
Well, here's the issue that I have. Well, first of all, let me say this before I get into my little issue. Um, Erica is, she's already into this, so this for her is just going to be like fun. She's already, drinking green stuff and eating like a rabbit. So, I mean, for her, you're just going to be, you're going to be talking her language. So,
but this conversation makes me excited.
Yeah, well, this one makes me nervous because after I get this information, then I have to do something with it. And and here's the thing, Rhonda, it's not just my fault. See, here's the thing. I know you watched the show and you heard of Lil V. Lil V is that alter ego, that voice in my head that's always trying to get me to do the wrong thing and eat the wrong thing. I just want to show you a short clip of what I'm talking about. Watch this.
Hey, what you making?
Oatmeal.
Oatmeal, my favorite. Oh, yeah. What you putting in there?
Put in a little butter.
Uh-huh. And some sugar.
And I chopped up some apples.
And some sugar.
Add a little cinnamon. And just a little bit of maple flavor.
And some sugar.
And just a little hit of sugar.
Yes. Sugar. Give it to me. Sugar. Come on. More sugar. Come on. What, that's it? That's all the sugar you're gonna add?
That's all I need.
I need more.
In fact, that's probably more than enough.
Oh, come on.
Hey, you're gonna get what I give you.
Give it to me. I want it.
Will Vince give in to Lil V and add more sugar?
No, I won't give in to Lil V and add more sugar. I just wanted to cut off that foolishness because Lil V is always at me. And so that's my challenge. That's my struggle, Rhonda. So, I can't take all the blame and it's Lil V. So that's what I got to say.
well, it's not just your struggle. It's several American struggle because sugar, the way it's processed, particularly white sugar, is very addictive.
Yeah.
It's 10 times more addictive than cocaine.
Yeah.
And sugar, white sugar is legal. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Oh, side note, this don't have nothing to do with nothing else. But you know what I just realized?
What's that?
First of all, Erica doesn't know this, but Rhonda's husband has been my friend for he's one of my oldest friends, right? So he's over 40 years. And he is an avid Michigan State. He bleeds green and whatever the colors are, right? And so I purposely, when I come around him, make sure I wear Michigan stuff. Today, I did not even think about this. I just happened to put this on because I looked at the weather. I said it's going to be a little cool. I'm going to wear a long sleeve. And since I'm wearing the shirt, I'm going to wear the hat. And then I looked up and I said, wait a minute, Rhonda's on today. She goes, swear up and down, I put this on. And it really had nothing to do with that. But,
That's funny.
it's part of the
I thought about it. I did.
All right, let's get into this. Erica, go ahead and just thrill her and drill her with these questions, and I'll just sit back and write down what I can't eat.
You're
That's
gonna
all.
sit back and write? No, no. I want you to really get involved and be actively involved because you don't want the little V to cause you to have any more sugar attacks. But moving on, what are some myths? Let's talk about myths first. When people think about being healthy or I guess holistic approach and practices, the one thing you did say is that there is not a pill; it's about the work. So, what are myths that people generally take and come into consultation with?
Well, in addition to that one, they think that if they add a little bit of something healthy, they can eat any way they want. Or if they exercise a lot, they can eat any way they want. So those are some of the biggest ones. And they figure that if you just give them something to do immediately, then things should work immediately. They don't look at all the years of perhaps bad habits that they've had. There's going to take at least those, maybe not that amount of time, but it will take some time in comparison to the fact that you've been having all these bad habits over the years. It's not going to be that quick. So people give up too easily. They think that you're going to be able to just cure them of something. But again, it's something that they have to do themselves. The body was designed to heal itself. And so there are certain things that we need to do to allow that process to work.
Yeah, because you hear people say a lot, I'm going to go run that off,
Right.
Exactly. I'm going to have this, but I'm going to go work it off. I'm going to go play a game of basketball. I'm going to be good.
Well, yeah, but that's okay for...
Go ahead, Erica.
Oh, no, I was going to say what he just said is okay for a person who lives a healthy lifestyle. They can run that off. But for someone who sits and inundate themselves with, the unhealthy stuff, the white sugars, the carbs, and things like that, that's a whole different story. Running it off, it just don't work like that.
It is a different story. But what I was going to say is, even if someone tries to run it off, your health is so much more than just about your weight. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's the thing. You can be what we call skinny fat, right? Because the whole idea, when you have weight on, people automatically assume that you're not healthy. They think that you have cardiovascular issues and diabetes. That may not necessarily be the case. But if you're thin, that does not necessarily mean that you're healthy. You could have very bad eating habits and then end up falling over dead because those bad eating habits have just inundated your systems, all your body systems. So you might look healthy because you're thin, but things on the inside aren't going right.
And there's a lot of people who are like that. And, I always get, this is a battle, in particular in my household. And so my husband's like, well, why can't that person just eat whatever they want and I can't? And I said, because they have a fast metabolism does not mean that they're healthy. Right. And so a lot of people, you find out that they're skinny and fat. Mm-hmm. they have what would be considered the fat person's issues.
Right,
or,
exactly.
I don't know if I could say fat, but the thicker person issue.
Yeah. What about some other myths? When we were preparing for the show, we talked about, all of these things people do to, they like, oh, I'm doing this because this is gonna help with this, and I'm drinking alkaline water and all that. Right. What types of things do people think or get misunderstood that they think they're doing that's good for them, like the alkaline water and things like that could or could not be good for them?
Right. Okay. Yeah. We can start there with the alkaline water. So the fact of the matter is that our bodies are supposed to be slightly alkaline. And I'm speaking of the digestive system, because you could be alkaline in your blood, but I'm speaking of the digestive system. So your digestive system, there's a point system, a pH point system. And to be alkaline, you need to be just slightly 6.4, your upper and lower digestion. Now, people don't know this. So they go and they get alkaline water because they've heard this as a fad. This is something that I need to do. Let me get some alkaline water. But what can happen is that you can become too alkaline. And so you can have alkalosis. So you can actually get sick because you're too alkaline, and people don't recognize that. So yes, that's something that you need to, again, talk to somebody who knows, and don't just follow trends. A lot of people follow the trend of intermittent fasting. We have that as one of the big trends now. And so, I think that people, there are a lot of things that are out there now that people jump on, and a lot of health practitioners play up to people because they know they're going to put money into those types of things. But again, those are things that you really need to have somebody to be able to guide you along, because every program doesn't fit everybody. Literally, everybody has a different body.
Now, you just messed me up on two fronts.
Oh, yeah?
You said I had an upper and a lower digestive system. I'm like, I just didn't know I had a digestive system. I didn't know I had an upper and a lower. And you hit me with an alkalosis. I never heard that word in school, alkalosis. And I can have too much alkaline. I'm all messed up already.
So
go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, well, let's go ahead and get into the foundations of health so that we understand where the hydration and how all that plays a part of your body and your health.
Okay, sure. So, we talked about being being alkaline, and also we talked about your digestion. So we can look at in terms of your elimination. Let's start with that. Okay. Let's start with the elimination because that goes right into the digestive system.
Hmm.
So we talk about elimination, we think mostly about our bowels. Yes, having bowel movements. You should really have bowel movements after every meal. Most of us don't do that because we're eating a lot of foods in the standard American diet that are dry instead of trying to eat foods that are juicy, because those foods are those that help to move through your digestive tract. And so when I talked about your digestion, it's upper and lower. Digestion begins in your mouth. And so many of us chew too fast. We're hungry. We're eating for hunger as opposed to eating to receive the nutrients. So you have to have digestion so that your body can get the nutrients. So it starts in your mouth, broken down with your saliva. But a lot of times we chew 3, 4 times and then we gulp it down. As long as it's soft enough to go down, but it really should be eaten
I'm
until
gonna need you to take that camera out of my house and quit looking at me when I'm eating. But go ahead.
we really need to eat until it's liquid in our mouth so that it can digest well. So your digestion again begins at your mouth, goes down to your esophagus, and that's the upper digestion, and then from your esophagus down through your stomach, that's the lower digestion. And those two need to actually work in sync. And so often people are sick because their pH is imbalanced. There are one of four types of pH balance. So again, people are drinking alkaline water, but they don't recognize that to be alkaline and alkaline, your upper digestion and lower digestion, that means your digestive system is working in harmony. You're not having that indigestion. You're not having that gas. You're not having that full filling, right? Because your food is moving the way it should all the way through your digestive tract. Then some people can be alkaline at the upper part of their digestion and acidic at the bottom, or vice versa, or the worst of them all is being double acidic. Okay, so then you're eating too many spicy foods. There are some foods that are vegetables that cause you to be acidic too, like like eggplant, those nightshades. A lot of times people
Right,
don't
like I was
don't
just going to
know
say
that
nightshade.
those things, white potatoes, those things can cause you to have indigestion, and people may not know why. So again,
Hmm.
elimination is really good because if you're not eliminating, the food is staying in your stomach and in your whole digestive tract, and it's becoming rotten. So think about your garbage when you're like, oh, you need to take that out. It stinks. That's how
Mm-hmm.
the inside of you smell, right? And
Mm.
sometimes you may end up having bad breath. And so it's elimination is important. It has to do with how you eat, how you exercise. All of that plays into how your food is moving through your system. And those two that I mentioned are also parts of the foundation of health: nutrition and exercise.
Now, is it that, and I don't want to get off to the foundation because I know we got more, but is it that my metabolism changed and all these different things changed simply because I'm aging, or is it years of my eating habits that all of a sudden makes me lactose intolerant? I get sleepy after I eat all of a sudden. I didn't used to get sleepy after I ate every time. Why is my body different now with how it responds to food versus how it was when I was, playing ball 4 days a week and in my 20s?
That's a great question. And definitely age has a lot to do with it. So a lot of your body systems begin to shut down as you age. You lose cells, you lose the ability to digest. So yes, you are seeing a difference because of age. And then a lot of times our habits are different. If we are not exercising like we used to, those things that we would do out of habit just don't work for our bodies anymore because we're not doing them. And I know when I would to be younger, I would go to parties every weekend. And so that was built-in exercise, So you stop doing the parties, you're not walking like if you're on a college campus, you're not walking on campus. We're more sedentary. So yes, it's a lot of our diet, our diets, our habits, and also getting older for sure.
Okay. So go ahead with so we covered some of the foundations. Let's see. Let's review those. Recap real quick. We had elimination.
I mentioned elimination. I didn't want to spend too much time on that, but let me just add one more thing to that, because we talk about elimination, and it's not just with your bowels. It's also your urinary tract. So if you're not drinking pure water, because tea and coffee that doesn't count. That causes you to be dehydrated, right? Mm-hmm. So we'll talk about that in hydration.
So me drinking Kool-Aid, even though it's made out of water, that don't count. Is that what you're saying?
It doesn't count. As a matter of fact, if you drink a 16-ounce glass of Kool-Aid, so for instance, again, and these work hand in hand. So, I talked about, we have the 6 foundations of health that we're talking about, but they work hand in hand. So I'm speaking of them and they're overlapping because, again, you need to do all of them. But as you had your big gulp cup, right, I don't know what's in there. But
water.
If that's a 20-ounce Coca-Cola, right, and to be hydrated, you should get half your body weight in ounces of water. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you should be drinking 75 ounces of water a day. And that's really key, because people tell you to drink a gallon of water. That's another myth, right? Because if you are 100 pounds and somebody's 200 pounds, how is a gallon of water adequate for both of you? It's not. Okay, so you need to do half your body weight in ounces. But if you're drinking cola, if you're drinking tea, if you're drinking coffee, however many amount of ounces you drink in that non-water, you have to add that on top of the minimum amount of water that you're supposed to drink. So if I'm supposed to drink 75 ounces of water because I'm 150 pounds, if I drink 8-ounce glass of tea, I have to add 8 more ounces. And so then I'm doing, what's that, 87 ounces of water? Did I add that right? I'm not sure.
Oh, man, we got to break out the calculators now, man. My goodness.
83, I'm sorry, 83. 75 and 8, 83, right. So those are types of things. And there's small things that we can do if we're mindful of those types of things that make a huge difference in your body systems. So when you're exercising, you're not just exercising for your muscles, your organs are actually being massaged when you exercise. You want your colon to be massaged. You want your lungs to be massaged so that they're opening up and getting rid of that mucus, because that's one of the other organs of elimination. I said the bowels, the urinary tract, your lungs, your lymphatic system. We have lymph nodes and a lot of mucus and other things lodged there. The lymphatic fluid just sits there, but you need that to be moved throughout your body because, again, you have toxins in your body. And then the final one is S for the skin. So when you're not eliminating from those other organs, your skin is going to take the brunt of it because it's the largest organ on your body.
See, these are the type of things, it was a couple of weeks ago, we had a show, an anniversary show, me and my wife, we talked about, relationships and things people need to talk about before they get married. These are the type of conversations you need to have before you get ready to get married. Be like, how's your lymph nodes? Are you eliminating properly? Before, she might look pretty and fine and all that, but you need to know if she's eliminating properly.
Oh my goodness.
She gonna look at
those
you.
Those are good questions to ask.
That's right. She gonna look at you and be like, I don't know about this character right here. He wants to know about my bathroom habits.
Exactly.
But you want to know if you're gonna have that person around for a while. What are you? What type of food are you eating and things like that. So if you're just joining us, this is Rhonda J. Smith. She is a natural health practitioner. She is not a medical doctor, so we have our disclaimer going where we are not giving medical advice. Please seek your health professional for any type of changes that you plan to make to your diet or medication or anything like that, do not just take what we say and go make changes, because everybody's body is different. So you have to make those adjustments with someone who knows all of your history and information as you make those adjustments. However, Rhonda is certified as a natural health practitioner, so she knows what she's talking about. That's all I'm gonna say.
Absolutely.
But you still have to find out what's right for you, for where you are in that moment. So just like me, I can't just go from, eating junk food and go cold turkey. That might be a shock to my system.
Exactly.
Ain't no telling what Lil V might do. So we can't have that. Anyway, go ahead to the next foundations.
No, but it's true when you talked about not being drastic, because so many people do that. I am putting my foot down and I'm just going to start on something, and you're setting yourself up to fail because you can't do night to day. And so there are things that you need to do incrementally. So yes, start with the water, because that's going to help you eat less, because when you drink more water, then you're going to eat less for two reasons. You're going to be full. And then a lot of times when we think we're hungry, we're actually thirsty. Most
We're
Americans
dehydrated.
are dehydrated,
Yeah.
right? And so you have some signs of that. If you have dry skin, itchy skin, foggy thinking, you may be tired all the time, you just might need to drink some more water, okay? Because the water is hydrating your whole body. And people say, well, I'm not thirsty. Well, if you're thirsty, you're dehydrated. So you need to make sure you're drinking water before you get to the point of thirst. Right?
Wow.
Yes. Okay, so everything's drinking if you're not drinking water. So if you want to say, okay, I'm going to start trying to eat a little bit more healthy, you just want to eat real food. I mean, that's just the basic thing. If you stick with that, that will help you. Just eat real food. And
What is real food?
Oh, great.
Okay, that's a great question. So anything in its original form that runs, flies, that grows from a tree or grows from the ground or swims in the sea, that's real food, right? Those areas. Now, once we start getting into modifications, right? So I like to give this very, very simple example. An apple, real food, right? Just real food, as close as you can get, right? To applesauce. So I'm not saying applesauce is not real food, but it has a level of processing that's beyond just picking it from the tree, because picking it from the tree is a level of process, but that's the bare minimum level of process. But when you get the apple sauce, you don't have all the components of the apple that God made it to have, so that your body recognizes it to be able to be digested. So you don't want to have packaged foods. You want to eat food as close to the original form as possible, without being altered in some chemical lab somewhere, genetically modified, where they changed it because they wanted their pesticides to be able to kill the weeds and continue to grow the food, because half the corn we're eating is not real corn. It's genetically modified. Corn and soy are the two crops that are the most genetically modified. That means their genes have been changed to look like the real thing, but there's something different. And that's why these companies can have patents on food that God actually made for everybody to have, but they're actually patents on food. So,
well, again, if you just joined us, we're with Rhonda J. Smith, natural health practitioner. She is certified. She knows what she's talking about. She's telling us what we need to do to obtain, maintain a healthy lifestyle through what we put in our mouth, what we put on our bodies. And we're talking about the foundations of health. When we return, we're going to take just a short break. You know my breaks are short. We're going to talk about sleep, rest, and stress elimination. How do you get the proper sleep? And rest is not always the same thing. And then stress elimination. I mean, I'm getting stressed thinking about the fact that I got to eliminate some of this food she's talking about, and not eat it. So we want to talk about sugar. We're going to come back and talk about your questions and comments. We got a question coming in talking about cold water versus room temperature water. We'll get to all of that right after this. Hey everybody, it's Vince Eliot saying thank you for your support. Real quick, I just wanted to come on and say a few things real quick. First of all, you guys are amazing because some of you are supporting the show by viewing us every single week. You're financially supporting, you're telling your family and friends, people are going to the YouTube page, subscribing, hitting the notifications bell. We are growing by leaps and bounds. We got a team now. We got Erica Mack, who keeps the show on track, my co-host. We got a producer, super duper producer, Deidre. She's in the background holding it down. And we are now at a place where we are opening the window of opportunity for sponsorship. That's right. If you know of someone who has a business, or if you yourself have a business whose product or service align with our brand, we want to hear from you. Send us an email at thevinceeliot@gmail.com and we will send you the information. We have packages as low as $100 a week. Can't beat that. Those prices are going to go up as our audience grows, so you want to get in where you fit in. Also, if you want to support the show, simply go to the Cash App now there on the screen, $ live with Vince Eliot. 1 L, 1 T in Elliott, so your money gets routed to the right place and gets used appropriately. In the meantime, we will continue to bring you information, education, inspiration, motivation, and yes, a few laughs. Look out for Lil V. He's always trying to get on the show. So in the meantime, let's get back to the show.
Information on this program is for educational purposes and not intended to diagnose, prevent, treat, or cure any disease, ailment, or other condition. Rhonda J. Smith is not a certified medical professional of any kind and is not qualified to give you medical advice. Her goal and the goal of Live with Vince Eliot is to inform and inspire you to take responsibility for your health and make educated choices of your own. Please consult your healthcare practitioners before embarking on any health program.
Welcome back to Live with Vince Eliot, and I am live, and I am Vince Eliot.
And she is Erica Mack, and welcome back.
She is so laid back. I am Erica Mack.
I am laid back, and today in particular, I'm probably more laid back than usual, but yeah.
Yeah, we know. We understand that. We talked about that earlier. We'll talk more about that at the end of the show, just to encourage people and give them an opportunity to support a very worthy and needed cause. We have Rhonda J. Smith with us, certified natural health practitioner, who is bursting my bubble, telling me what I can't have, what I need to do more of, put the cookies down, put away all that bread, get some sleep, exercise, do all the things that Lil V don't want me to do. She is here. She is certified. She knows what she's talking about. Let's get right back to it. We are going to kick it off with one of these questions we got from our viewers. That is Naomi Denson. Erica, what's she talking about?
She said, are we supposed to drink cold water or room temperature water?
Interesting.
You should definitely drink room temperature water on most occasions. But when you exercise, you get hot. So you need to be able to replenish your body, and cold water at that time is fine.
Oh, that's different. See, that's the first time I've heard that. So I had the opportunity to work for a church who took me overseas and into Europe. And one of the things, I should mention two of them actually. One of the things that I noticed is when you're on the plane that actually goes over there, they don't even offer you ice on the plane. Europeans are like, they don't do the ice thing. When we get over there, it's like they don't drink a lot of pop, and so in fact their bottles are like 10-ounce bottles. Mm-hmm. And real quick, I'll just share this story with you. So we all go to a restaurant. It's like a gang of us, who came over, right? We all go to a restaurant to eat, and the bottles were so small, they're little 10-ounce bottles, and I was like, man, okay, I want one before my meal. So they gave me one, and I'm drinking that. And then I was like, okay, when my food comes, I want two more. The lady literally spent, it seemed like it was 5 minutes. It probably is more like, 2 minutes. She was like, but they gave you one already. I was like, and when my meal comes, I want two more. You want one more to go? Because that'll be two. Or you want two? You want three? She could not process in her mind that I would literally drink 3 10 or 12-ounce bottles of soda, because over there in their culture, that is just like, we are so messed up in America with the way we eat and drink. It's unreal. And the second thing that I was going to mention is that when I got over there, I was able to see how different, and just in terms of like, they call us like the obese country. I mean, because even if we're just a little bit overweight, we grade on the curve. Over there, you can see the difference. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this. I don't have any statistics to back it up. By my own statistics, they do a lot of walking, right? There's a lot of people in the streets. You literally had to walk past, I'm going to say 25 people to see maybe one or two people that might have been what we would consider to be 30 plus pounds overweight.
Wow.
I mean, it was just that serious. And what made it so bad is just before I left, we went to one of those festivals, they had the artist, Shaka Khan and all these people performing and everything, right? And all the people were walking. We get there early, and all the people were walking from their cars across the grass, the park. And it was like, I don't know how to say this politically correct, but 85% of us were overweight. It was crazy. And it was like when I went over, and then I went over there, and it was the exact opposite. So it's definitely an American thing. Last thing I'll say is I watched this commercial now that I'm more conscious of it. And the commercial is a fast food restaurant. I won't call the name. And they go, wow, you're going to give me 2 sandwiches for the price of 1? And he's in the car. He's in the car by himself. He's by himself. Like, I'm going to leave before you change your mind. I'm going, why are we advertising that we're going to get 2 sandwiches and nobody else is in 2 processed sandwiches? Nobody else is in the car with them.
Right.
They didn't in the commercial. They didn't say, well, now you buy one for yourself and you get one for your friend. No, he was like, you're going to give me 2. And he was a big fella too. And I'm just like, this is the type of advertising that we get. And we want to supersize. And I'm not being a hypocrite. I am guilty. Supersize me. You saw the promo. I was just like, that wasn't too far from the truth. Other than the Diet Coke. I don't do the Diet Coke. But I almost want to give you a confession about what I had last night, but I'm not going to do it. I look bad enough.
Got on the couch.
Yeah, I'm not on the couch. But yeah, so it's a culture thing. It's how we're raised. It's like, oh, you goes down south to visit your family, and they see, oh, you ain't feeding that boy enough. Feed that boy. Yeah, have some more. And that's just the way. That's the way we do.
It is. It's a lot of things that we have to unlearn.
Yeah,
definitely. Even when Naomi asked about the water, when you drink cold water, you should not drink any water when you're eating your meal because that messes up the digestion process.
Wow.
Right? You're taking the liquid and you're washing it through your system as opposed to allowing the enzymes to break your food down and move it through the system.
Okay, can we just pause right there for a second?
That was a lot, but yeah.
Let that just, I don't know if I've ever heard that before. I think I have. But still, it's still an aha moment. Think about that. We always want to wash that food down.
That's what we say. Wash it down. But the body is designed to wash it down, right? Liquids aren't supposed to do that. So we're disrupting our digestive process.
And aren't you supposed to drink something before you eat so you eat less?
That helps. That is definitely a great tip.
Wow.
And if you drink something after a meal,
water.
It should be right. It should be, or some teas are okay, but if you drink after the meal, it should be definitely room temp or something warm because after you've eaten, and you shouldn't do it right away because again, you're going to disrupt the digestion process. But if you do drink anything, it should be room temperature because if you're eating grease and that type of thing, if you take something cold, that solidifies and congeals the oils in your body and causes things to get stuck. So
wow, Erica's smiling and nodding. She knows this stuff.
No, I like I said, I get excited from it because it's like always, new revelation. Even if I am doing it, it's just like, okay, yeah. So did you miss that or did you not do that? Just things like that. And like I said, it's like she said, it's a daily process. It's not something you just do drastically. But when I do eat, like for me, I generally do not like to drink when I'm eating. And, a lot of times, or, you go to restaurants, what you want to drink? I don't want anything. And like you said, if you're going to do something, I'll get some hot tea, or I'll just get some hot water. I don't add nothing to it. I'll just do like a green tea or a black tea and just drink that, and that's that. But yeah, I love it. I'm glad that everyone is getting to hear it.
Well, I'm just going to authorize that we're going to end up going about 15 minutes over because we still got more to talk about.
Yeah.
And this is just good stuff. I know that we're going to have you back on the show because we're just talking about the foundations of health. There is so much wealth of information, like we talked about when we were preparing for the show. You taught a class of 5-hour class or 5-week class?
5-week class, 3 hours each, so a total of 15 hours.
And you still didn't get everywhere you wanted to get to.
No,
so how are we going to possibly accomplish that in 30 to 40 minutes? Oh my goodness. We're just talking about the foundation. This is just getting started. I'm literally, motivated now, right after I finish my cookie and my other stuff. I'm motivated starting tomorrow to do better. And then this whole drinking, see, I can change that. That's going to be easy. I'm not drinking while I'm eating. I'm going to wait till, after I'm done eating and the food has gone down, had at least a half hour maybe. Would you recommend maybe a half hour?
Yes, definitely.
Something like that? Okay.
Definitely.
And then and I got to get back to not using that ice. I picked up on the ice again. We got a question, Erica. What we got?
So, question from Sherry. Sherry Henderson would like to know, what type of teas do you recommend?
Well, it depends on what you are looking for, but I would suggest any type of herbal teas would be best. No brand names like those commercial brand names, because they have, you may see on some of them, they let you know, oh, we have soy in the tea. Like, why is soy in the tea on some of those national brands, right?
Yeah.
So you don't want that. People like to say green tea, but if caffeine is not good for you, then you don't want to do that. I'm sorry, I had an alarm going off. I didn't want to hear come to show. But so again, it really depends. But in general, herbal teas is what I would say.
After dinner? Or before
well, yeah, some people can drink them throughout the day, but definitely if you're going to drink anything, it should be after the meal, not during the meal.
Okay.
I think another thing, like when you talk about teas and things like that, a lot of times people don't realize that the bags are bleached.
Exactly.
And so you have
right.
to be
So you want to get the
well.
natural ones. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that up, Erica. They're bleached. So a lot of the national brands they have bleached tea bags. The bags that the tea comes in, they're actually bleached. So you definitely want to look at an herbal tea. And you can get these in the health section of the regular grocery store or a natural health store to get, and they will tell you on there that their bags are natural and not bleached.
Okay, so let's just recap now. So the hydration. Now I'm doing pretty good on that. Y'all saw me drinking a little something today. Today's Friday. That was I'd be lying if I said it's my cheat day because I cheated today. Let's just say that. And then, but I drink water a lot. My wife will testify. I drink a lot of water. Now, so I got the hydration thing down. Nutrition I need to work on. Little V and that sugar thing. Stay away from so much pasta, so much bread, so much, that white sugar and stuff that white sugar is in. So that's really where my struggle is, as far as, other types of nutrition, I just need to start with that personally. I'm sure that we could get off into a whole bunch of other stuff we'll probably save for another show. Then we talked about the elimination, which if you do those other things right, your elimination should be good. But we talked about chewing the food is one part of digestion. And then once it goes down, then the stomach and the acid and all that does the other part of digestion, but you should not be flushing it with a drink, which we love to do, especially if I have a piece of cake like I shouldn't be having it. I get some cold milk to wash it down. Oh, that feels so good. But I got to stop doing that. Exercise, I can work on that. All right, so let's talk about the sleep, because Steve Harvey said you get 8 hours of sleep and you ain't trying to make no money. So what about the sleep and the rest?
Well, studies say that the average American should sleep between 7 and 9 hours. I tell you, when I get 7 hours, I can tell I've slept too much. So 6 is the marker for me. So again, those are averages, but you have to really pay attention to your body to see how you feel when you wake up. And a lot of times we may be sleeping, but we may not be getting rest. So you may not be getting restful sleep. So your body may actually fall off to sleep, which it needs to do, because that's when the regeneration process takes place. Your body is healing itself. You're in a fasting mode. That's why breakfast is called breakfast, because you're breaking the fast, right? Your body has fasted when you're sleeping to regenerate, to give you new cells and to just heal itself. And so that's why sleep is important. So if money is your main thing, then you're probably not going to be very healthy, because your body needs to sleep. That's, the healing process takes place then. And then sometimes you may sleep, but you're not getting rest. So if your mind is going really, really fast, because you have so much going on in your mind, if you have so many electronics around you before you go to bed, even while you're sleeping, the television is on, all that electricity interrupts your body's electricity. So that causes you not to be able to rest. And so you need to be able to, your body needs to be settled so your nerves aren't jumpy. So your adrenal system is not in fight or flight mode. You know, when you're about to get into a fight, or you come into some danger, that's when your body kicks in, the adrenals kick in. You get that adrenaline rush to help you to have the energy to be able to fight or to flee, right? But sometimes when we're stressed, our bodies are always constantly on the run. We're always doing things. Our bodies are stuck in flight or fight mode. So even though there's no danger before us, even though we don't need that extra energy to fight or flee, we have that extra energy because of the stress that we're under. And when that happens, the part of your body that shuts down is the part that's supposed to digest your food and cause you to rest. So when you're stressed, you have problems with digestion oftentimes, and you have problems getting rest, because that part of your body shuts down to give you all the power you need to be able to fight or flee.
So now I see that I had all of those elements that you were talking about. I just didn't have them in the way that you say that we should have them. In other words, I get stressed when I don't have no food, no junk food like I like. And so I get ready to fight. And so I flee to go get the food, and I get the food fast. I chew it and swallow it fast. I wash it down with something, and I break my fast by eating fast. And I just kind of got all that kind of twisted around.
Oh my
It's really not how it's supposed to be.
No,
Is that?
no.
Oh, okay.
You're adding to your troubles.
Oh, is that right?
You're adding to your troubles.
I was trying to fast. I was eating fast. Oh, okay. So now, the stress, how can we eliminate stress other than, of course, the obvious, which is, to get our rest and to, get our sleep and to eat right. Is there anything else we can do to relieve our stress?
Yeah, sometimes you got to get rid of some folk in your life. I mean, I'm not telling you to get divorced. Trust me, that's not what I'm saying. Sometimes you might just need a break, because there are toxic people in your life for real that causes you stress. So there's some people you have to, limit your interaction with, because they stress you out.
Like Lil V.
Yes,
Yeah,
and then we have all these electronics. We go to bed with them. We're on the phone with them. And again, you need to shut those down. You can also get electronic magnetic field shields for your devices, because it helps to regulate the electricity that's coming off. Because we have, our bodies have electricity. That's how our energy flows through our bodies, is through electricity. But the electricity from external sources disrupts the natural flow of electricity in our bodies and causes stress. So we need to shut those down. Shut your phone down. Turn your computer down. Don't have them next to your bed. If you do, you need to have those shields on there so that power is not disrupting the power in your body. But
now, Doc, do you have any advice for the children when the children stress you? I mean, is there any legal way we can get the children off the they can stress you
Send
sometimes.
them over. Send them over a friend's house, and they drive like your children do. Send them on a bunch of errands.
That sounds like good advice. That sounds like good advice. Okay, we got another question. We're going to take maybe one or two more questions before we wrap this up. Go ahead, Erica. What we got?
It says, how do you move the lymph fluid out of your body?
That's a great question. Exercise definitely is a great one, and a real good exercise for that is the rebounder, the mini trampoline. And man, you get on that for about 10 minutes. Studies say that's equivalent to 1 hour of jogging, right?
Wow.
10 minutes. So your lymphatic system is opening then. And there's also a thing you can do called dry brushing. So you get a body brush, and it's actually dry, and you brush your arms. You start from your legs all the way up. You're going to be brushing parts of your body up towards your heart. And so that's something I recommend a lot of times for my elderly clients, because they cannot move, but they can brush themselves even while they're sitting. It's something you should do before you shower, because literally you're going to be flaking skin off of you eventually, like dead skin. But that opens up your lymphatic system and gets the fluid to flow.
Okay, I got a question that I've been meaning to ask. What about these diet drinks? I'm going to step on some toes with this one.
Horrible. They're working against you.
But they don't have any sugar though, right?
But
Yes, they do.
they have artificial sweeteners in it that are made in a chemical lab that were not designed for your body to recognize, because God did not create your body with chemicals from a lab.
You mean God didn't create diet? You mean he just said, let there be Coke and let there be Diet Coke?
So your body doesn't recognize these chemicals, and they don't know what to do with them. And so really there's studies, and you can look this up. Studies have shown these actually cause you to be fat, because your body doesn't know what to do with them. So it's holding on to them, and you're not releasing the weight.
Some of this stuff is stronghold information. You telling me to get rid of sugar. You telling people to get rid of diet. And some people going to react. They're going to be like, I don't care what the docs say. I'm going to have my such and such and such thing.
Let me tell you this. One substance that we use, sugar in our house, is sucanat. Okay? And that's sucanat.
Sucanat.
Sucanat. Sucanat. And it's a made-up word, but it stands for sugar cane natural, right? Because it's just sugar straight off the sugar cane. It's not processed with bleach and other chemicals like white sugar is. So you don't get addicted to it, but it's sugar, right? And so in the process of trying to eliminate sugar from your diet, I suggest people to use sucanat, because it is sugar, but it's not processed sugar with all those chemicals that causes you to be addicted.
Wow. Okay, let's take this last question.
One more question.
Go ahead.
So, I've heard that you shouldn't eat a solid meal before noon. Is there a certain amount of time that you should wait after waking up before eating the meal?
Portia, I have not heard that, and that may be a part of the whole intermittent fasting trend that's out now, and I don't blast that at all. I think there's some benefits to it for sure in terms of healing your body. But as a general principle, that is not a general principle. The heaviest meals of the day should be your breakfast, because you need some energy from in the beginning. Definitely proteins, because proteins tell your body that your body is full. So often we're hungry because we don't get the protein that we need. We're getting fried and processed foods, and it's not the type of proteins that we need. But definitely you need fuel in the morning. So I'm not familiar with that, but it sounds like it may be a part of the whole intermittent fasting trend.
So give me an example of an ideal breakfast, because when I get up in the morning, it just depends on what day it is. You know, bacon and some multi-meal or oatmeal. Might do some eggs and grits and sausage and toast with jelly. I mean, come on now. What those are the staples. What you got for me?
Well, yeah, they're the staples and they're part of the standard American diet, and that acronym is SAD, right? And because, but again, anything that you eat breaks your fast. So breakfast does not have to be breakfast foods as we know them, right?
Mm,
You eat whatever is going to help you to be healthy. So you don't have to have just breakfast foods, but you definitely want to focus in on proteins in the morning. But I do a green smoothie. I may put some protein in it in addition to the protein that you get from the greens, because a serving of kale has more protein than a serving of chicken. Okay. But you need the protein because the protein gives you energy, it helps to burn fat, it tells your body that you're full, and it doesn't cause you to overeat. So you eating grits and all that, that's corn, that's hard for most people's bodies to digest.
mm.
Mhm.
You're eating bacon, it's fried, it's clogging your arteries. So there.
Well, our viewers are chiming in. I mean, they won't let us go. I mean, we trying to keep the show down, but this is great information. By the way, people are saying that you are extremely informative. They're giving us
Thank you.
feedback, letting us know that what you're sharing with them has is really having an impact. In fact, Wendell Ross says, I've been battling with diabetes for some time now, and the information I'm receiving now is bringing new light for me to work with, and that's going to help a whole lot. Thanks.
Wonderful.
So that feels really good that this show is actually helping people and helping to change lives. So that's what it's all about: information, education, inspiration, motivation. Got a quick question real quick, Erica.
Oh, well, she was talking about sucranac, and so they wanted to know what about monk fruit as a sweetener.
I've heard about that, and I think it goes back for me, and I haven't used it myself,
I
but
use
it
monk
goes
fruit.
back. You do?
Yes.
Okay, it goes back to just eat real foods. So, Erica, I defer to you because that's not one that I've used, even though I've heard
No.
of it.
Yeah. So it acts it's a sweetener, but it's not. It's a natural sweetener. So it's kind of like the sugar cane, but not exactly. It's just it's like a plant based sweetener though. It's
Got you.
plant based.
Like
So
agave.
yes, yes.
And speaking of that, some people say, let me talk about agave because the gentleman who mentioned he had diabetes. Some people like to recommend using agave because it doesn't have a high glycemic index. But if you get agave, it should be raw organic,
Organic.
because if it's not raw organic, it has the same effect on your liver as high fructose corn syrup. So
Ooh, we didn't
yeah.
even
If
talk
it's a
about
spring
that.
fine.
Ooh, that really gonna mess some people up. We start talking about that. Okay, listen. Okay. I got to
I
pump the brakes.
I know
Erica,
we
go
gotta
ahead.
go.
Go ahead, Erica. Go ahead.
No, I did want to talk about because she had mentioned toxic, and I wanted to just ask, like, a lot of times people don't understand why we're toxic or what makes us toxic, and just general, like the foods and then things, the topical things that they put on their body. So I wanted to really her to drill into that when she talked about toxins, so they'll understand that that's where toxins are coming from, not just just the air, not just because you breathe.
Go for it.
So,
Okay,
oh,
yeah, sure.
so
So
why are we toxic? That was the
yes,
question.
we are toxic, definitely, because of the air we breathe, the things that we eat that we aren't eliminating, but then the things that we're also putting on our skin. So Vaseline is a no-no. I know so many folks use that, but it is petroleum jelly. Like
Mm,
petroleum, like when you go to your gas pump, petroleum, it's petroleum jelly.
wow.
And so many things have that in it. Also, you want to stay away from all those preservatives, the propyl paraben, all the parabens. Those things have been known to cause cancer. They're cancer causing agents. But with the petroleum, it creates a barrier on your skin. And so that's why you say, okay, good. I like Vaseline because I don't get ashy, right? Well, it's because you're keeping the moisture in your body and nothing is coming out. You're not able to sweat. And it's the same thing with most deodorants that aren't natural. They have aluminum in them, and aluminum is toxic. It is a toxic metal. And so, it's in vaccines and all kinds of things, but it
Hmm.
really is causing us to have cancer. We have lumps and things. Those are, again, these are things that I'm not saying this out of my own knowledge and head. You can read about these things. So we have to be careful, not just what we put in our bodies, in our mouths, but even on our bodies, because those are toxins that can come. Chemicals, when you have chemical straighteners, those types of things, dyes, all of those things you have to think about. So it's not just what you put on your skin, but what you put on your scalp and your hair. So all those things, they seep into your blood system and set toxicity in place.
Wow. You've got to come back. You got to come back. I mean, we'll pay you double what we paid you this time.
Double or nothing.
Double or nothing, baby. We got to have you back. We're going to try to squeeze you back in the month of October, if that's okay. We'll check with your schedule. I had my people call your people, and I'll call you.
Yes,
and we want to have you back on because, like I said, those are just the foundations. But we got so much more we can talk about. We still got questions coming in. What about activated charcoal toothpaste? If you want to answer that in 30 seconds or less, we'll go for it.
Great. It's great.
It's great. There you go. There's your answer. So charcoal toothpaste, that sounds like that's going to turn my teeth brown. I don't know. Anyway.
You're going to rinse it. It helps.
Yeah, of course.
And clean, take toxins out, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you can take charcoal if you to prevent poison. Have some type of reaction to some foods. Yeah.
Man, oh my goodness! I know you got so much more information. Like you said, you did 5 hours, 3. I've got it all mixed up, but you did a class for a lot longer than this, and it didn't. And you still didn't get all the information. So yes, we thank you. Our audience, our viewers, thank you. Just what you shared was great. The question's still coming in. Says, I know we're coming to the.
I was about to type it to him.
I know we're coming to the end of the show, but what deodorant to use?
Well, there's a lot of natural deodorant, so you would have to try some because all of them don't work for everybody. Some of them cause you to perspire. Some of them cause you to still stink. So you want to just look for things that don't have aluminum in it. That's one of the main things, and those preservatives, parabens. Yeah. So, but you can try a few.
I happen to know Wendell Ross real good. He needs that deodorant question answered because he played ball real hard. When he plays with me, and I don't know what he smell like after he get through. I don't go sniffing him, but I know he plays hard. So he needs to make sure his deodorant is hanging in there. So that's my guy, though. I had to mess with him. But maybe if I play a different music, we will get out of here. Thank you, Rhonda, for all the wonderful information. We are going to have you back as soon as we possibly can, and we'll cover a whole nother litany of topics. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for viewing. Rhonda, if you'd hang out just for a moment backstage, we will talk with you as soon as we close the show out, and we'll let you have the last word. Go for it.
All right. So I'm happy that you all were able to tune in and get information. If you are interested in one-on-ones with me,
that's what I was going to say. We forgot.
If you're in the Metro Detroit area, but I can work with you even through the internet. There are things that I can see. I can look at your skin, your eyes, your nails to kind of tell you what's going on inside of your body, because a lot of the information we shared here is definitely general, but everybody is different. So reach out to me. You can go to my website also, which is it's on the screen, to set up an appointment. I have a schedule there where you can set up an appointment. If the times there don't work for you, just send me an email. We'll see what we can work out.
Well, there you have it. All right, Rhonda, we will see you shortly. We'll continue to put that information up on the screen. You see info@souldelights.com if you want to email her. And then, of course, the website, www.souldelights.com. I like that, souldelights.com. All right, Rhonda, we will talk to you shortly. Hang out with us for just a moment. Erica, what's good?
All is well. That was good stuff. And I was like, oh. I started today to actually bring, because I knew someone was going to ask that deodorant question, and I was going to bring in the different kinds that I have here. And so, in the different kinds, male and female. And so I was about to answer him before I knew he was going out. And I was like, oh, I could just answer him. But yeah, so it's so much stuff. It's a wealth of information. You cannot possibly consume it all in one setting. This is years of practicing and trial and error, because everyone's body is different. So, and knowing that, take the information, go and start seeing what works for you, and definitely get more involved and know and get being more healthy and healthy for you.
Absolutely. So
that's what I have.
I do want to remind people, if you were not with us at the beginning of the show, we did talk about the fact that Erica is related. In fact, it's her first cousin who is the mother who lost a 6-year-old daughter to.
Hold on, no, it's my first cousin, and her sister is her sister's granddaughter.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Who actually passed? So that would be my second cousin. But my cousin, my first cousin, was actually injured, and her 2 children was injured. So yes.
Oh yeah. And so there is a GoFundMe page. Did we get that information? Yep.
Yeah,
there it is.
I put it in the comments.
Okay, so the GoFundMe page is on the screen. I would imagine that you can just go to GoFundMe if you can't get all of that on the screen, and just put in NALA law or NALA. I think when I did it, it was her first name and her middle name or whatever, but it was KLAI. So just if you put in NALA, it should come up. And then let me just show you her picture, and then that's what you're going to be looking for. That's the picture and her name there on the GoFundMe. That's actually the GoFundMe, what the GoFundMe page
Picture.
looks like.
Yep.
Yeah, picture.
Yep.
So we're asking people to help this family. They are trying to raise money to bury her, and of course everything else that comes along with that. You know, like I said, the family was injured, severely injured. So there's some serious financial challenges that are, I mean, literally right around the corner. So $1, $5, 10, 20, 50, 100, whatever you can do. No amount's too small, and everybody, giving will help. So yeah, on behalf of Erica and her family, they thank you in advance what you're going to do. We thank you here live with Vince Eliot for tuning in. We want to make sure you guys know how you can stay up to date with the show. All you got to do is go to YouTube and subscribe to The Vince Eliot. So you want to search for The Vince Eliot, and that'll come up, and you'll see a picture of me on there, and you just subscribe, and then you hit the notifications bell so you can get notified anytime we go live or put up new content. And so we want to thank our guest once again, Rhonda J. Smith, for coming on and giving us that wealth of information and making me feel guilty. Just want to thank you for that. I mean, I got my cookie and everything sitting over here, and it starts tomorrow.
Sit in the corner and eat it.
Right. Sit in the corner somewhere where nobody can see me,
Right.
and start eating where I won't have to feel guilty. But and then, what I got to challenge is Lil V talking to me, because he'll tell me that, Saturday is the end of the week. You might as well start off right on the Lord's Day. Sunday is the best day to start. So I got to get Lil V all out my head, because he's always trying to, talk to me. Thanks to our super duper producer, Deidre, in the background, holding it down. Yeah, she's right on cue. Every time we say kick it or we say we going to this, she just like, bam, she hitting the button. She doing all the things in the background, making us look good, as best as possible. And so reminder that we are going to start, our show is going to be on Tuesday starting September 29th. So we will be back next Friday. We will be back the following Friday, which is the 25th. And then on the 29th, that Tuesday, is when we will begin shows on Tuesday only. Same time, 7:55 countdown, 8 o'clock. And I think that's going to work out better for everybody. So for those of you who are, getting out more on Fridays, bowling is starting up. What I know is something for Erica. I'm a bowler, which is, I'm like Jordan. I just retire unless they call me back. They start talking some trash. Then I come on back in. I do what I do. Just bowl a couple hundred right quick, get on out. You know what I'm saying? I just do. I mean, I'm a competitor. What can I say? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. That is all the time we have. We have gone overtime, in between time, double overtime, triple time, like they did in the NBA with the game the other day. They went into what? Double overtime?
Yeah, double overtime. I fell asleep. I didn't get the chance to finish, and I was watching my games, but yeah.
And are we forgetting anything else? September 29th.
That...
September 29th. We are Tuesdays. What else?
We're nothing without God, and this show is nothing without the subscribers.
That's right. We got to have you guys subscribing. You guys have to subscribe. Subscribe. Can't say that enough.
And subscribe again.
Yeah. And you can always, support the show and things like that. Thank you to our supporters, by the way. Oh, you know what we're going to start doing, by the way? We're going to start a what do you call it? The people who give, the donators list. Yeah, for people who give like a certain amount or above. Then we're gonna start, shouting those people out and sending them emails and things like that. So we're gonna start keeping track of it because those people really, mean a lot to what we're doing. So, all right, Erica, we got anything else?
That is all for me.
Well, I just feel like I'm leaving something out, but I think, go ahead.
All the love. And that's it.
All right. Well, I think it's time for me to let Deidre take us home. Close us out, Deidre. Go for it.